Welcome to a new Harry's Garage, and one with a difference, as you can probably tell. I'm in France, I'm in Beaune, which is our overnight stop. This is a Hotel Le Cep, a lovely place that we stayed in many times before. It's a really old hotel right in the centre of Beaune, and it has a secure car park. That's particularly why I like it. And you'll see the Countach is behind me, because we're on a big monster trip in the Countach over the next few days, and I'm glad to say you'll be joining me as well. So the plan is, we left UK yesterday. We're in Beaune now. We're going to go off to Route Napoleon. I'm going to show you a secret little roads around to get onto Route Napoleon near Gap, down to Antibes, and then from Antibes in the next few days we're going up to Switzerland, because Lamborghini are holding a new Concorso d'Eleganza. The first time they've done it, they're going to do a factory supported Concours d'Elegance in Switzerland. Neuchâtel is where it is, it's on a lake, and so we'll have a look around at some of the Lamborghinis there as well. So there's lots to pack in. Now the Countach, 30 years old this month. My Countach was produced in 1987, and its little bit of fame is because it was actually the motor show car in London. So it was a London motor show stand, and the first buyer, bought it off the stand and drove away, which I think was a lovely story. I've actually owned it now 7 years, bought it in September 2010. So it's become a real favourite of mine, this car. Monster, crazy thing, still feels as crazy now, and it's in rude health at the moment. I had a new ignition box put on it, and it feels particularly healthy. But anyway, that's a little rundown of what we're doing. I'm going to just show you now on a map where we're going, and just to give you a bit more clue of what's going to happen next. Now, look at the map of France. I've got to find Beaune. Beaune is here. And if you just zoom out a bit, this is a very easy route, because it's right by the auto route. You go Troyes, Reims, up to Calais. This is a dead easy route and very achievable in a day. I like using Beaune because we set off at 9 o'clock yesterday morning, very civilised hour, came down, used the Eurotunnel, good old Flexi Plus, and we got here for 8 o'clock. An easy run. And from here, you can then got the choice. You see, if you're going skiing, you go this way, or if you're going south of France, obviously you go down the autoroute, autoroute de Soleil. But we're going to head off to Grenoble, which is here. It's a bit of a knot. We have to go around Lyon, and then beyond Grenoble, it's not on this map, I'll show you later when we're actually on the route, you then head up into the hills. So Beaune is just a delightful place. I find it a really delightful place to stay because it's so close to the autoroute. It's so French. It's a lovely little town full of cafes, full of restaurants. Highly recommend it. And if you can get a place in Le Cep, well, then you get the secure car parking as well. It's a real bonus. Now, packing up. Countach. How many bags can you put in a Countach? Well, this is how many bags you can get in a Countach. Countach isn't that bad actually, because it has one thing that it can do. When you open the boot, now the struts, for some people might know this car, I've had to put the wing back on because I'm into the Concorso and I have to have it as it was when it was standard. But a Countach boot has little side panels in. You won't see that one, but there's normally one here. By opening up that side panel, suddenly I release a load of space at the front. And that means I can put it's quite a big bag. I can put that bag in, and then with a little bit of shoving, I can shove it down there, and I get space for another bag here, and then I'll get my camera bag in as well. So yeah, quite surprising, the size of a Countach boot. Anyway, time to go. Next time you join me, we'll just be around just after Grenoble, just getting onto the Route Napoleon. Okay, one of the things when you're doing big trips in the Countach is it's quite noisy. I've dropped the speed for the moment, just so you can sort of hear me. So what am I doing at the moment? I'm doing 110 kilometres an hour or thereabouts. but on a French auto route it's 130, so let's go and visit 130. Right, it's not quite 130, but that's the sort of noise level you're at, and it's sort of more than you'd really like. The thing is with a Countach, it's all about performance, so I'm sitting at just under 4,000 RPM when you're cruising. This is in 5th gear, sitting at the motorway. That's because this car is all about performance. There was not a hint of trying to do good MPG. And the other trouble with the Countach is the throttle. If you're right-hand drive, as you press it, it sort of is resistance, and then you go fall through the resistance, and then it's easier. The throttle is easier. So the temptation is to just sit in this easy part of throttle, but then you go way too fast and you're in lock-up mode on the speedo. I can't tell you, but you don't want to be doing over 150 clicks on a French auto route. So some of the route down, we know it's a long section, even though my wife is beside me, we put earplugs in and disappear into our own world, and then we get miles covered. But even that is a bit tricky, because I found with the earplugs in, you couldn't really hear what was going on, and I was up at very naughty speeds. So anyway, yes, it's a noisy car to cruise in. And the other source, it's not only the engine that makes the noise, you've got a gearbox sitting here, and the gearbox noise will come through the gear change. So I take that off. Definitely hear the gears chuntering. With that, it's silent. So that's our top tip for long distance cruising in a Countach, is have something to wrap around the gear lever. Okay, I'm doing a scary thing. I'm working out what the MPG has been on the way down here. We've used 45.6 gallons and done 1,111 kilometers so far. So if I divide that by, what did I say, 45.6 equals, done 24.36 kilometers per gallon. So divided by 5 divided by 8 equals, yes, 15.2 mpg is what a Countach does. That's between 130 and 140 kilometer cruise. Not great. So we're heading to the mountains, and it'll probably get even worse. Yes, good job it's got a good tank and a nice spoiler. Nice to have the spoiler fitted when you have a little bit of breakfast. It's quite a famous bit of the Route Napoleon up here. This is where there's some hairpins and you go under the arch, this rock arch. It's quite spectacular. There's a few hairpins just as you come in. Makes all that auto route driving worthwhile when you finally get to the true Route Napoleon. Just after this one, come all this way. There we go. Come on, car. Oh, it's so much effort driving this Countach up a road like this. But then the sound you get, sensations are pretty special. understand why. Not where you want to meet a coach. Very memorable. Well, we've been going since about 9:30 this morning when we left Beaune, and the weather's got better and better, and here we are, Route Napoleon. Countach, as ever, given me a serious workout. Just everything is sort of hard work in this car, but the reward is a lot more performance than you're expecting. This bullish sound, this V12, it's bassy and goes straight up to the red line any time. It can do overtakes and things like that. Quite easy to place, but it's still, yeah, the stiff controls, particularly the throttles, are right pain, and you haven't got the braking of modern cars, but who cares when it looks like it does. This is a lovely part. This is 1145 meters high, so we're sort of the top bit of Route Napoleon, just about to drop down into Castellane. If you actually wander over here, I can just see the church on top of a rock in the distance, just after this hairpin, just down there. You're dropping down to Castellane now. This is the epicenter of Route Napoleon. So I'm going to show you on the map what we've done. Okay. Now, what I find, let's see, get the right way up. There we are. Right. We've come down, the Beaune is just up there, so we've come down the main autoroute. As you're on the outskirts of Lyon, you want to hang a left and you're then heading for Grenoble. And if you're really going to do proper Route Napoleon, you get onto the N85 here, just after Grenoble. And it's a bit of a challenge, this bit, I have to say. It's scenic. It should be better than it is, but there's a lot of villages all the way along, so you're constant into 50 limits, etc. The alternative, what you're trying to do really, is to get here. The start of the proper Route Napoleon is down here in TomTom's Digny Bain, but there's bands properly in French. So that's where you're trying to get. And there is a better route out from Grenoble, but it's not great either. So unfortunately, this bit of the Route Napoleon isn't great. What I've just done to make it a little bit more interesting is just sit on the N85 this way, get to Gap, and once you're at Gap, then turn left down the D900 and make your way along until you get to Col de Mur, this little pass that then brings you into Digny, a different route. So you're cutting this bit of N85 out, which is nothing to write home about, and then you're on the proper bit, and that's where we are now. So we've just done the hairpins and through the rock here. Now you drop down to the hairpins down here, and then there's big open space, big straights, tempting to go a bit too quick, and then a real scenic hairpins here where you look over Cannes, look over onto the Riviera. You just get glimpses of it once you're past here. So there we go. So we better get going. One thing you've got to remember around here is fuel. There's fuel in Castellane, which is really useful. I hope you can hear me. It's suddenly got windy. It was being perfectly still when we parked up here, but it's now decided to get windy. But anyway, we've got a big tank. We're going to crack on. It's 5 o'clock. We'll get down to Castellane next. Always a camper van, isn't it? Oh, I've run out of lock. centre of Castellane, little town. Sometimes you're lucky the market's on, but basically you park up in there and there's lots of restaurants, cafes, whatever. It's a good stop, and there's a tom-tom somewhere trying to tell me to go left on the roundabout. I know. Gendarmerie's down there that we know from Evo days. Swing round. Oh, there's the church on top of the rock. There we go. So from here, road opens up. It's quick. It hasn't got the hairpins, but it's still got great views and just great driving road once you're out of this. Okay, well, we're dropping into Antibes now. It's 7:30, so that was quite a full day. The mileage on this log 365, add on to 11. Yes, 1,500 kilometres we've done since we left home a couple of days ago. Bit of an adventure. First night in Beaune, and then obviously Route Napoleon today. If you're doing these sort of trips, be aware, as soon as you go off an autoroute in France, it always takes twice as long as you think it's going to. Don't know why, but it is. The autoroutes are so efficient, so empty, you just get places and cover big distances. But the fun is to be had off-piste, as it were. Right, the plan now, this is sort of end of part one. Countach has a day off tomorrow. We're actually off to the Cannes boat show, and then Friday, back in, and we're off to Neuchâtel in Switzerland for this big Lamborghini Countach Euro-trip parties and all the rest of it. So next time you see us, we'll be in the port of Antibes, and we're set off. I'll tell you about the route, how we're going to get up to Switzerland. So I'll see you then.